present tense. We proceed with that one. Let's just first check your assignment. Alright, last time we had our assignment. Is that correct? Yes, alright. So you have your assignment with you. It's about creating 3 sentences only, right? So can you please try to read that one?
The kids were drawing earlier.
You are on mute, Ramli.
The kids were drawing earlier. The mother is happily watching a new movie. The father is cooking the kids' favorite meal.
Alright, there we have it. So can you identify what are our verbs in the first sentence?
Drawing.
Come again, can you try to unmute yourself?
Drawing.
Drawing, that is correct. How about for the second one?
Is.
And then?
Is cooking.
Is and then cooking. Is actually our verb. Is it linking or helping? Since it has cooking, it will be helping. Very good, Ramli. I can see that. You still understand the lessons that we tackled last time. Very good. Good job in answering that assignment. Now, let's learn more words to add to our vocabulary bank. The first one is this one. What does the glide mean? So, if they use in a sentence, it means it goes like this. After polishing the floor, I could easily glide on it. Oh, what do you think is the meaning of the word glide? A, to move forward easily without to worry. Or B, to move smoothly or smooth continuous motion.
B.
Letter B. Alright, so let's see. Let's wait for a bit. I think we'll alright. So the correct answer actually is letter B. That is correct. You are correct. The word glide means to move with a smooth, continuous motion. So it's like this. You're gliding smoothly. Alright? About the next one, so we have the word snooze. If used in a sentence, since I finished my homework early, I went to bed to snooze a bit. What does the word snooze mean? Is it A, to have a short light sleep, especially during the day, or B, to sleep continuously throughout the night?
A.
It's letter A. It's just like a nap. Alright? To have a short light sleep, especially during the day. You're just napping and snooze. Alright? Now, let's read a few sentences from the title Over and Under the Snow by Kate Messier. Alright? So again, this one is adapted from Over and Under the Snow by Kate Messier. Can you please read the sentence, please?
Over the snow, I glide past the pond where tadpoles lay tag in the springtime. Under the snow, fat bullfrogs snooze. They dream of summer days back when they had tails.
Alright, so thank you so much for that. And so as a reference for you to imagine the scenario, it's like this. As you can see, these are the fat bullfrogs snoozing under the snow. Okay? So when do these verbs happen? As you can see, we have the word glide, play, snooze, and dream. Alright? So they are actually a thing we call verb tenses. So what does the verb tenses means? Alright? So verb tenses, they actually tell us when a verb or action happens. Is it in the past, in the present, or in the future? So we can compare it past, for example, yesterday, and then present, today, future, tomorrow. Alright? So those are what we call the verb tenses. It tells us when the verb or action happens. That in the past, in the present, or in the future. Now, how are we going to know what verb to use? Present, past, present, and future. Okay? So there are many types of verb tenses. But for today and the next session, we'll talk about the simple tense. Okay? So let's talk about the simple present tense. So mean to say it will be in the present. So when do you use simple present tense? Take a look at these sentences. When we show habitual actions. What do we mean by habitual actions? You usually do these every day or a routine of yours. For example, I wake up at 8 a.m. every day. So from the word every day, meaning to say it is a habitual action as well. You usually, or this person usually wakes up at 8 a.m. My parents drink coffee in the morning. So this is also a habit or a routine. Do you agree with this one? Do you usually observe your parents drinking coffee in the morning? Yes, so that is a routine as well. Also, my cat eats twice a day. Do you have any cat in there?
No pets.
No, you do not. Oh, no pet. Alright. But for example, an owner have a cat, for example, and that cat eats twice a day. So that is also a routine of that owner to feed his or her cat twice a day. Now, can you share some of your habits, for example? What are your usual routines? Alright, so I drink milk in the morning or every morning. Is that correct? Alright, so that is also a routine. So if you're going to notice, we have the verbs wake, drink, and eat. Also, we use simple present tense verbs when we are also showing just the general truth, just the fact. Alright? For example, the sun rises in the east. Alright? Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. I have brown eyes, for example. So, all of these sentences are actually just facts, right? So can you share your own general truths? It can be about yourself or any truth that you know. about the color of your hair?
Black hair.
Alright, so I have black hair. That is a truth as well. And that sentence is correct. Alright, very good, Remy. Now, the verb tense when the subject is singular. Let's discuss how are we going to know what type of verb or what form of the verb are we going to use if we're referring to a subject that is singular. Right? Rabbit. Okay. So, for this one, generally we add S at the end of the verb with a singular subject. So, that will be the opposite for the verb since in subjects, usually we add S if it is plural. However, if it is singular subject, then our verb should have an S. Alright? So every verb should have an S. For example, Mel. Mel is a singular subject. This we are pertaining to only one person. That's why it's singular. Mel writes. So why not write alone? Because they have to agree with each other. A singular subject takes a singular verb, and a singular verb usually has an S at the end. So it will be Mel writes, Ray eats, Ben asks, she sleeps, he speaks, it makes. So all of these subjects are singular. That's why we should add an S to our verb as well. Do you get that?
Yes.
Alright. Now, what about in these cases? Mel flows, Ray goes, Ben fixes, she catches, he splashes, it focuses. So, are there any missing letter here?
Yes.
Oh, what letter is that? What is missing? Before an S, we should also add letter E. Very good. So that is correct. So when the verb ends with these letters S, S, O, X, CH, SH, or S, usually we add ES. Alright? So it will be Mel flosses, Ray goes, Ben fixes, she catches, he splashes, it focuses. Alright? How do we remember this one? So how do we remember these letters ending or these several letters that ends the verb? Alright, so S, S, O, X, CH, SH, and S. How are we going to remember that? Let's just think of the sentence. Miss Sarah ordered to Xerox cheat sheets. Miss Sarah ordered to Xerox cheat sheets. Alright? So can you please try reading this one so that you can be familiarized with the letters that we have to remember?
Miss Sarah ordered 2 Xerox cheated sheets.
Alright, so remember that if words ends with SS or S, O, X, CH, and SH, we should add ES to our verb or to our word. Just like this one. Losses, goes, fixes, catches, splashes, and focuses. Alright? Now, and what about these cases? There are also verbs that ends with letter Y. What is missing or what are missing here? Is there anything else that we can change Do you think this will be the correct pattern for this one? Mel studies. Ray tries. Ben cries. She copies. He replies. It flies. Do you think we should just add an S after these words? Do you think these are correct? No. What should we do instead? If our verb ends with Y and we're referring to a singular subject. In singular subject, we know that we should add S. However, when it comes to these cases, words that ends with Y, should we just add an S? We said no. So what should we do instead? Let me show you, Rami. Alright, so when it comes to words or verbs that ends with Y, instead of just adding S, what do we do is that when the verb ends in consonant plus Y, when we say consonant, those are the B, D, it's not the A, E, O, U, alright, so that's the vowels. But when we say consonant, those are the B, C, D, F, G, H, J, and the lines. Alright, plus Y, we actually change the Y into I. And then, therefore, we can now add the ES. Just like this one. From the word studies, again, we remove the Y, replace it by I, and then we can now add ES. Alright, do you get that one? Alright, so instead of Mel studies with STUDYS, we replace it by Mel studies, STUDIES. Alright? So that goes the same with other words. So instead of just adding S, in tries, we remove the Y, replace it by I, and add ES. So we have tries. TRIES. That goes the same with the word cry. How are we going to add S in that? So we replace the Y by I and then add ES. So we have CRIES. Okay? Goes the same with the word copy. Copy. So we remove the Y, replace it by I, and then add ES. COPIES. Copies. We remove the Y again in reply, replace it by I, then add ES. Replies. He replies. REPLIES. And for the last one, instead of having flies spelled like this one, again we take out the Y, replace it by I, and then add ES. FLIES. Flies. It flies. Alright? So when it comes to the verbs that ends in consonant plus Y, again we remove the Y, replace it by I, and then add ES. Is this one clear, Randy? Alright. So, can you think of another word that ends with the Y? For example, we have the word spy. Bramley spies. So it will be SP. We remove the Y, add I, and then add ES. So it will be spies. Alright? Remly spy. Alright. Now, let's take at more examples. What do you notice here? Tom does not jog outside. She does not eat ice cream. My cat does not play with her cats. This character does not like cheese. Now this time, they are all does not. It makes use of the word does not. The addition of does not turns verb into negative form. When we say negative form, as you can see, everything is a no-no. Alright, so that's what it means to have a negative form. It's the opposite meaning. So instead of Tom jogs outside, it's now in negative form. If we add does not, it has now the opposite meaning, the other meaning. Alright, so the formula for verbs in negative form is does not plus the verb in base form. What do we mean base form? A while ago, we learned that if we have singular subject, we should have the verb with S, right? So that will be the singular verb. However, that we have an exception when it comes to negative base form or negative form of sentences. So from the positive sentence, Tom jogs outside. If you are trying to convert it to negative form, then the verb jog should no longer have an S at the end. Do you get that one? So Tom does not jog outside. Therefore, we do not have S anymore. It's in base form already. When we say base form, we do not add anything. That's just the actual word. She eats ice cream. This one is correct. But if we're going to transform it in negative one, she does not eat ice cream. So we remove the S already. My cat plays with other cats. My cat does not play with other cats. This character likes cheese. My character does not like cheese. So as you can see, we remove the S already if it is in negative form. Do you get that one, Remly? Alright. So let's see. Let's try to convert this one. Can you choose a sentence and then convert it to a negative one? Is it sentence number 1, 2, or 3?
Does not play tag in the springtime.
Alright, very good. A tadpole does not only play tag in the springtime. Alright, that is actually correct. So we just remove the S and then add the word does not to make it negative. Very good, Remly. That is correct, and it goes the same with the rest of the sentence. A fat bullfrog snoozes. A fat bullfrog does not snooze. The bullfrog dreams of sun-warmed days. The bullfrog does not dream of sun-warmed days. So we no longer have an S when it comes to our verb when we are creating a negative form sentence. Now, another exemption to the rule is the words I and you. Although they are singular, even though they are singular subjects, but they often follow plural rules. So we will talk about that later on. So let's have an exercise first. Based on the bingo table on the next slide, choose 5 in a row and write one sentence each with them. So let's start with one sentence, okay? So can you please try to choose only one and create a sentence? What is the word that you chose?
Type.
Alright. So you chose the word
Type.
fry? Is this?
Type.
I see. There's one type. Alright. So can you try to create a sentence out of this word type? You can make use of our chat box if you're having a hard time in thinking of a vocal sentence here.
Sam does not like to type.
Alright, so we have the sentence, Sam does not like to type. Alright, so we have here this one. Alright, very good, Remy. Now, that is that a positive or a negative form of a sentence?
Negative.
Negative, that is correct. Very good, Remly. Now, let's move on to the verb tense when the subject is now plural. A while ago, we discussed verb tenses when it comes to singular subjects. Now, what are we going to do if we have the plural subject? Of course, it will have a plural verb. But when it comes to plural verbs, we use the verb in the plain form when the subject is plural as well as if it is I or you. If we make use of the subject I and you. Just like what I said earlier, it is actually an exemption. So why does the subjects I and you is not considered or not included in the singular one? Because again, they are exceptions and they usually follow the plural form. So for example, we have the singular subject, right? A tadpole plays tag in the springtime. That's why we have an S. But when we are trying to refer to a lot of things as a lot of subject, the plural subject, for example, tadpoles. So we're referring to a lot of tadpoles. Tadpoles play tag in the springtime. So as you can see, we make use of the base form or the plain form of the verb. We do not add any more S. Alright? If we have an S to our subject or if our subject is in plural form, we do not add S when it comes to our verb. A fat bullfrog snoozes. I snooze at night. So, why do we not add S even though we know that I is singular? Because again, the word I and you are exemptions. They are special. They still follow the plural verb. That's why it should be snooze alone. Alright? The bullfrog dreams of sun-warmed days. So we're referring to bullfrog, that's only one again, and therefore we have a singular verb here, dreams. But when we say you, even though it is singular, we still follow the plural verb dream. We no longer add an S when it comes to plural subjects. Alright? So remember, the S is for singular. S is for singular. And in plural, we have the base form or the plain form of the verb. If we have singular, then we'll add S. Plays, does, is, has. But if we have plural subject as well as the words I and you, we make use of the plain verb. Play, do, or, have, and the likes. Alright? So let's take a look at more example. For example, we have this one. My friends enjoy horror movies. Do we have singular? What will be our subject in this sentence? My friends enjoy horror movies. What do you think is our subject?
Friends.
Friends, that is correct. Is it singular or plural? Plural. So we're referring to a lot of friends. And therefore, our verb should be plural as well. We do not add S. Alright? Plural verb do not have an S. How about this one? I play with my siblings often. What will be our subject?
Siblings.
Is it siblings? Who is the doer of the action?
I.
Who play with, alright, who play with the siblings? I. Is I singular or plural?
Singular.
Singular, that is correct. But why do we use play and not plays? Because I is a special subject as well as the word you. Alright? You usually order 4 cheese pizza. Alright? So, we have the subject you. It is indeed singular, but that is also special, and therefore, we do not add an S. So, all of these verbs are plural verbs. Although some of these subjects are singular. Because again, I and you are exemptions and they are special. What do you think can we add to transform this into negative form? A while ago, we transformed sentences into negative form with the use of singular subject. Now, how are we going to transform this into negative form? Can you try to transform the first sentence into negative form? My friends.
My friends. My friends. Does.
Yes. Are we gonna use does not again? When it comes to plural subjects? What do you think are the words that we can now use? Let me show you Remly first before you create your own example. So for this one, my friends enjoy horror movies. But if we're going to translate it in negative form, instead of does not, the word does not is for singular subjects, right? But we're now referring to plural subjects, and therefore we will use the words do not. Alright? My friends do not enjoy horror movie, and the verb will still remain in plain form. Alright? My friends do not enjoy horror movies. So as you can see, we do not have an S as well in does not. We should not use the word does not. I play with my siblings often. Since I is singular but it is a special word and it still follows plural forms, so I do not play with my siblings often. You usually order for pizza or for cheese pizza. You usually do not order for cheese pizza. So this one is a bit easier actually because the verb is still the same. They are still in plural form, unlike in subject or a singular subject wherein you have to remove the S. Alright? So in this one, for plural one, we do not add S to our subject to our verb and as well as to our negative form. Is that clear, Ramli? Alright, so can you try answering this one as well? Can you choose one sentence? Is it sentence number 1, 2, or 3? Sentence number 2. Alright. I snooze at night. How are we going to transform this into negative form?
I do not snooze at night.
Alright, very good. That is actually correct. So, I do not snooze at night. So, we use the word do not and the base form of the verb still remains. Just like for the rest of the sentence, tadpoles play tag in the springtime. So, for it to be in negative form, tadpoles do not play tag in the springtime. Alright? You also have here, you dream of sun-warmed days. You do not dream of sun-warmed days. Alright? Is that clear? Do you think you can apply the tenses of the verb, whether it is singular or plural?
Yes.
Alright. So, let's see. We actually have here an activity. So, I actually have here a copy. Let me just rename it as your name. And then, we'll actually listen to a song. Wait for a bit. Yes? Are you sharing something, Ramli? Let me share it to you. Let me share the link to you first. There we have it. So, what are we going to do is that I will give you the lyrics that in the link. Can you try pressing